And welcome back to another episode of Luminary Leaders Live. My name is Shelly Harrison. I'm your host, and we are streaming live today on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. So you can find us at Luminary Leaders on Facebook. You can look at my profile, Shelly Harrison, and you will find this interview. I want to welcome my guest today. We actually represent this gentleman, and when I first talked to him, I could not believe just his energy. And you're going to meet him here. His name is Jose Morales, and he is
No,
he's dealing with his light
I'm
there.
sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. The other way around. Apologize.
Oh,
There we
there we
go.
go. A little fun on the
All right.
set, right?
Yeah, it's too bright out here, but it's good. How you doing,
Yeah.
Shelly?
So I'm doing good, Jose. And I just want to mention that Jose is an author. Here's his book right here, Press Forward. And you're going to hear a little bit more about this. He is also an adversity speaker and in law enforcement. So, and also a mentor. So you've got a little bit of everything going on, Jose, and we'll talk about
Yeah.
this. But I want to welcome you. How are you doing today?
Good, good. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Well, thank you for being here. And I really want our audience to hear a little bit of your story. I know, when we first chatted a few months back, I was really kind of shocked by the story.
Hmm.
Tell us a little bit about it. Bring us back, and then how, pressing forward where you are today.
All right. I was born and raised in the Bronx in 1971, and I
Mm,
have grown up in a very violent house with had to do a lot of substance abuse and physical abuse and
mm,
anything that had to do with sexual, physical, or drugs. I was around that environment growing up, and then also was son of a prisoner at the time. And then fast forward, I was going through all these adversities through life, and then eventually through things that I was going through, the transition in my life of what I was discovering little by little through what I was learning of myself of why everything was
yeah.
taking place to this point. Then a few years ago, Press Forward became what it is now. And so I use that now as a leverage to tell people that adversity is never against you, it's for you. So it helps you become who you
Yeah.
are. And so, and that's where
Yeah.
it kind of prompted everything else. So I kind of put everything in my life story in this book, and how I went about it and how to help me and hoping that it'll reach out to other people as well.
Right. And, in your law enforcement work that you do, I'm sure that, that really kind of hits home, when you're
Hmm.
doing that kind of work. I'm
Yeah,
sure that it helps other people too, because you could, mentor others like I know that you
hmm,
do.
right,
And also, yeah. And also you have apparel, where you have merchandise that, that people can buy as well. And I think that, the apparel that you have, it's just very colorful. I think, helps
yeah,
people feel good about, just wearing the clothes and the
right.
colors and the words that are,
Hmm.
that are on the shirts and the
Because
hats.
usually, yeah, and I love it. I mean, it's all because it has a purpose behind it, and that's why I end up doing it. Because when I did the first merchandise was athletics wear, and I ended up having I was doing the Reebok Spartan race, and at that
Mm,
time, I was going through some difficult time, and that's how that all started incorporating into the outwear that I had, and so it was called Press Forward to the Next Level, and
mhm.
finish strong. Because people was asking me, yeah, what's the point of pressing forward? But the point of pressing forward is you want to make sure you end up strong. The day that you're no longer here, you leave it a legacy, and you have done
Yeah.
something to the fullest that you can. And so that's how that started. And when people started getting a wind of what it was and what was the purpose behind everything, then it just started going like it was going crazy. I wasn't even expecting to
Yeah.
do anything with it. It started with just me wearing it and making a lot of t-shirts, and people wanted it, and
Yeah.
I kept handing them out. And then and eventually it started serving a purpose. It kind of narrowed into where I'm at now. Because I just used it more to feel somewhat good about myself. I started recognizing that I have value in this world, and what I've gone through and what I
Yeah.
am and who I am. I have a purpose for other people as well, and so that's how that transcended there. And then just started
Yeah.
embarking from there. So it was great. It's a good feeling. So
I know, and and when you think of you're from the Bronx, and in the
yeah.
Bronx, I think you've got tough skin, so you have to. I mean, doing the work that you do today, and then also mentoring other people and kids,
Hmm.
and just people that have been bullied. And I know
Yeah.
that. And can we talk a little bit about, because I know you have a little bit of a um, uh, with your hearing, right? Can we
Yes.
talk about that a little bit, and
Yes.
how that kind of helped you in what you do
Um,
today?
okay. So how that came about, and during the time when I was younger, I was getting beat by my mother, and apparently because of the fact that
Mm,
she always
can
thought that I was trying to
imagine.
be a smarty, just trying to be a smart pants, and she's like, "Oh, so you want to be a comedian now?" And every time she tell me something, I will respond with something that sound like it. Now, fast forward, when I was in third grade for the second time, I had a teacher that took
Mm,
the initiative time to really recognize and be a teacher and kind of observe the student. And she noticed something was off with me. Sent me home with
yeah.
a note. Went to a doctor. Found out that I'm hearing impaired, so I'm deaf in one ear and
Mm,
moderately off on the other. So that kind of like did the icing, because then now I understood back at the younger time, I didn't know what was going on. But now when I found out what was the
yeah.
problem, it kind of helped everything in the house. And then at home, everything went great. But now at school became a problem, because now I had to figure out how to adjust myself to this new thing that I just found out about, I just not discovering. And how do I go about now adjusting to life, because I was in a regular class
Yeah.
in the mainstream and now I got pulled out and put in a special class. And so that was like, it kept piling on and
Mm.
piling on. And so, but what I thought was a curse became a blessing now. And so, and
Oh, I
that
love
was the
that.
best thing about it, because the fact that I then understood that it had to be done, and I grew up this way, and I was born this way, and I understood that now that what I have is a tool to teach others that are going through the same similarity things, and teaching them that if I can do it, and I have all these multiple things under my belt, that they can too, and even do more greater things that I'm doing. And so that's where I
Oh.
initiated it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that, because I think what you did is you took something that could be an obstacle and you made it your
Hmm.
superpower.
Right.
When you think about, I mean, here you're in law enforcement, you're an adversity
Hmm.
speaker, you get in front of large groups and speak, and
Right.
you have this apparel company, and then you've got your book. I mean, it's wonderful to see how you did press forward, and you
Hmm.
continue to
Yeah.
press forward, Jose. And with you, what are the ideal audiences that you like to get up and inspire? So give us an idea of
Um,
what your audiences look like.
I I speak with anyone in church. I speak with all audience and in the youth division. I'm really more
Mhm.
targeting into helping the young generation now that are going
Mhm.
through mental health, suicide, feeling outcast. So I kind of zoning in that area. I like the thought to be able to reach out to them and let them know that that their existence do matter, and that what they have is something important to me, to you, and to anyone around, whether they don't see it or not,
Yeah.
and help them how to bring out that gift. And I love the thought to hear them and say, "Hey, all right, what is it that you like doing?" Okay, and then we execute on that and try to figure a way how to make that happen. But I want to make sure that they get their knees scraped, so to speak, because you gotta
Yeah.
teach them that you can't just hand it over, but you can direct them and guide them, and so that way they'll have a sense of worth, worth of feeling that I
Right,
earned
or
this.
hope. They'll
Nobody,
have
yeah,
hope.
and you're giving
Yeah.
them that faith and that hope, exactly. And it's nothing greater knowing that though you got a direction and a little push, but nothing is greater knowing that you earned it all yourself.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's
and
something you
how
can't take away.
exactly. And how wonderful that that you can talk in front of, youth, our, younger generation,
Hmm.
where your story alone it could scare them,
Yeah,
right? And they're going to
yeah,
realize that,
yeah, it will.
hey, look at me now, where you've
Hmm.
got all these great things going for you.
Right,
And
right.
when you look at the youth that you've been in front of, and I know you are an advocate for an organization. And would you like to
Yeah.
mention the organization, Jose?
They're called Compel America. If you want to look them up, it's compelamerica.org. And we
Yeah.
deal with not only helping those that are being bullied, but we also target the ones that started. that initiate it. And that's
Mm,
usually why I come in. I love the thought because I'm a true believer that you can't fix the problem unless you get to the root of the problem. And to
mm-hmm.
get to the root of the
So
problem is
true.
whoever initiated, you have to then target that problem. So, but the other thing behind that is that the child is starting, but you also have to now execute with the parents because you got to go home and find out.
Yes.
So, and that's the beauty of where I'm working now with the school. I'm contracted through the school as a mentor,
Mm-hmm.
community life. And so what I do is my job is to become a mediator for the parents and the students, the community, and the school. So I kind of tie it in together.
Mm,
So whatever it is that's missing and they need to put in there, my job is to come up with a
yeah.
solution. Everybody has a lot to say, but if you don't know what you're doing, then it doesn't help.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got a parents that if they're into drugs, they want to do something about it, but they can't. They don't have the resources, so they can't tell. Like it's hard for us to tell the student, "This is what I want you to become," but now they're back home and they're having to take care of the little ones, take care of their own parents because sometimes they, drug addiction,
Oh,
you don't know
yeah.
what's going on. They're being abused, and so they become a parent, student, a child, everything all at once at home. And then we're expecting so much from them, but when the parents like, well, they're not supportive, and they're not getting support anywhere else, it's hard for a child to kind of really like really believe period. Like
Right.
to feel like
Right.
that, like you got a lot of them have a lot of hope, a lot of ambitions, a lot of goals. But then when you go back home, reality kicks in to them and they're like, nah, this is no way this is gonna be true, that this can happen for me. And this is why I go out to let them know that you can get it. You can
You
do that.
can't, yes, they
You
can
can,
persevere, and,
and that's it.
their
Mhm.
circumstances aren't, they don't have to stay in those circumstances,
Right.
and all it takes is a mentor like you or someone,
Hmm.
an advocate that can help them and, show
Yeah.
them a different way
Right.
of life, and like you
Hmm.
said, sometimes the parents, it's unfortunate because there are,
Right.
there are families out there that are suffering because the parents are, they're having challenges, and I would think too with COVID-19, do you think,
uh
here we are still in COVID, do you think that has a lot to do with, maybe some of the kids that are contemplating, just addiction or, I mean, gosh, God
right.
forbid,
I,
suicide?
now I think is a higher risk because a perfect example, when I was getting abused at home, my scapegoat was going to school.
Mm,
So whether we didn't
yeah.
have that much money for food, I look forward to going to breakfast. It was just crazy when I come think of what I had to go through
Mhm.
just to make the day good enough for me. Because I didn't live like thinking about,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna do this tomorrow or maybe next week, or I have plans. I had to think about what I'm doing now, like how I'm gonna get from here to there without getting jumped or getting shot. And that's how I had to live every day. So I
What
went
a
from my
scary
house,
thought.
so from my
Right.
house to the train station, from the train station, now I got to go to school. Okay, now I'm going to make it. And so, but either way, it was crazy because I would take my chances out on the street than I did at home. So now going back
Mm,
to what you're saying, you got a lot of kids out there that we don't even know what they're going through at home, whether it's being physical abuse, sexual abuse, mentally abused, like all kinds of
right.
things. And so now it's like, okay, so they're getting virtual, some of them are getting remote school, but now they're going back. But it's been a long process. And so with everything
Yeah.
going on, they're trying to figure out, okay, we're gonna have them back to school, but now they have all these regular rules and whatever. But by then you got a lot of kids that are already broken,
I
like,
know.
and
I
that's
know.
that's
And
that's the hard that's so harsh and just to think about that, but it's the reality. It's the reality. It's just that it's unfortunate you can't reach out to a lot, but thanks to social media, if you're able to do something, because words do an effect. Like you
mm,
can make, words produces action and action shows results. So if you
yes.
speak
Oh,
about
yeah.
something, they're gonna hear it, but now they're gonna like it's gonna trigger something. And so if you
Yeah.
become that person that they look up to, you got to do. And I think that's a burden to become that role model to inspire
Mhm.
others and make sure you get it together. Because at the end of the
Mhm.
day, I'm human, you're human. We all do mistakes. We make bad judgments sometimes. I don't even call them mistakes. They're just bad judgment on whatever circumstance you're in, because it happens under
Yeah.
pressure. We like, oh yeah, this is good, and then later on you're like, oh, no, it wasn't good. So so
I
you learn and you
know.
move on. And so, but with the
That's
kids, it's
right.
different. It's very hard with kids.
Yeah.
So I think it does a lot. I mean, this affects a lot of kids, and especially those that are
Mhm.
going through suicide temptation, because now it's like they're definitely
Mm,
around nobody. They're isolated. They're in the room. We don't
gosh.
know what condition they're in. So I
We
think
don't.
that's,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know,
well,
mhm.
we'll make sure too, in the show notes that we have some hotline numbers, maybe
Yeah,
for, suicide and some of the other things. So people have, they have access to the
yeah,
resources that are out there,
yeah.
especially, if they're in a situation right now where they
Mhm.
need help and support.
Yeah, if they want to go
Yes.
on the link on Compel America, we have everything on there. He's also for LGB and anyone. They can go on there.
Yeah.
We have a link, and we have also a phone number and hotline lines that people can help them and kind of direct them where they need to be at. I mean, we're not gonna
Mm.
pretty much, we're not caseworker, but we're resources for others that are really trying to find something. And if we able to do something, we tap in. So that's the beauty of that
Yeah.
organization. So it's great.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah, and, we have just a couple of minutes left, Jose, and I wanna cover
Hmm.
2 things.
Yep.
What really inspires you when you find out that you're gonna be speaking for an organization? What inspires you to get up there and do what you do?
What inspires me is the fact that I love the thought of helping people. I love
Mhm.
I love the humanity, like going out there and knowing that I can make a difference. And I don't care if it's for one person. I can be in a pack room. I've
Yeah,
been in a pack room before, and I always kept in my mind, this message is for one person.
that's
Because
right. Yeah, only
if
if you
you,
could even say
it's,
one
that's it.
person,
I don't
yeah,
care.
or
And that was a,
inspire.
yeah. And when I did the book, that was the same mentality I had. The book is for one person. I don't care who reads it,
Yeah,
because if I'm able to do one, that's enough for me. Because through that person, then that's gonna trigger down the line, and others start seeing, well, what you did to get through with it. So, oh, well, so and so,
yeah,
and that's how that starts. And that's what pumps me up. The thought that to be able to use my tools as an instrument, which is speaking, and what
mhm.
I have gone through in life is for me is a joy that I'm able to become uh, an essential tool to utilize what I
Yes,
have
and help,
and
and help
connect,
these kids.
like and tell these
Mhm.
people, whoever it is, even older, you have
Adults too.
adults. I hit
Yeah,
anybody. You put me in front of any crowd, I don't care. And because
yeah,
it, my mission is to make sure that I can give all that I got, and make sure that I can just transform their life and inspire them. I don't motivate them.
yeah. And
I
I
want to
love it that you
inspire
call
them.
it your well, and I love it that you call it your mission because that's something, you're out to inspire. Yeah, that's true. But really
Right.
it's your mission to help
Hmm.
people. And even if it's one or two people in the audience
Yeah.
that get your message because they
Yeah.
might be going through something right at that moment. And with your book, we have a question coming in from LinkedIn. Where can people find your book? Press
Uh,
forward.
well, you can get on Amazon and just press that in, or they can go to your page, Luminary, and they can actually look at it, and then they can click on the link and order the book on it. So
Yeah,
that's
and
pretty much where we at. And Barnes and Noble is usually through any other stores right now. They just print on demand, so you're better off just getting it online and ordering it. And so
yeah.
and that's really where you can get at. So.
Oh, that's great, Jose. And and I know the work that you do, in law
Mhm.
enforcement and the advocating that you
Mhm.
do with, Compel and mentoring. What are you looking to do maybe in the next year? What is your goal?
My
Tying
goal.
everything in.
Um, my goal is actually to go full force with this and be able to travel and try to hit a lot of places where need to be, where they need to be heard. Because I'm not there
They need to
just
hear your message.
right? Because
Yeah.
I'm gonna go there, they're gonna hear me, but I also need to let them know that I'm hearing them. And I want to
Mhm.
go into places where I know that I can hear what their problems is, and kind of zoom in and that, and that's it for me. This is not a job; it's a calling.
Yeah.
It's not a job.
Your mission.
It's my mission. It's my calling. And
Yeah.
so, and that's why I want to see myself progress and grow, immature and things that I've yet still experienced, because there's a lot still more that I need to learn and be able to
Mhm.
transform that, and and give that out to the people that need to hear it.
Yeah. Well, I can just imagine, the lives that you're going to transform in the months and the years to
Yeah,
come, because your story is so powerful in your book. I mean, everything that you do, Jose, is
yeah,
like you said, it's your mission to help people, and I think people need it more than ever now because of what we've been through, and
yeah.
life is not the same. We're going to be coming out
Hmm.
of this pandemic where, things
Yeah,
have changed, and social distancing and all of that. I think we're still
yeah,
going to, be doing some
yeah,
of that. It's important, though, to
yeah,
know that people have resources like what you
yeah.
offer,
Hmm.
and yeah. But we'll make sure that we put
Yeah.
the
Thank you
suicide
so much.
hotline, and we'll put your book on there for if anybody is interested in getting a
Hmm.
copy of Jose's book. It's on Amazon, as he mentioned, and you can go to our website at Luminary Leaders, and in fact, we have it scrolling at the bottom there. But I wanted to say, Jose, thank you so much for being here today, and for
Thanks.
sharing. I know we didn't go too much into your story,
Yeah,
but you shared enough to really just give some insight to
yeah,
our audience.
yeah,
And we'll have to have you back again, maybe in a
yes,
few months, and
yeah.
hear some updates.
Yes, definitely. With this pandemic, we definitely have to. We're
Yeah.
definitely having something new. So yeah, yeah, I'm looking
I think
forward to
so
it.
too. I
Yeah.
think so too. Well, thank you for watching. To our audience, we're streaming live to YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook, and we were here with Jose Morales today. He is an author, a compelling author. When I add that word, also an adversity speaker and a mentor, and he also is in law enforcement. So he speaks from experience, and he's out on a mission to help people across the country. So if you would like to have Jose come speak for your organization, school, or an event that you're having, he is available to speak. We'll take care of that process for you. Just reach out to Luminary Leaders. And Jose, as far as how people can get a hold of you, what's the best way to reach you?
Well, they can reach me at Luminary, at your site, or they can
Okay.
go on Instagram. Press forward to
Yes,
the next level
Instagram.
is on Instagram, Facebook as well, and link. I'm just getting a little used to it. It's a little off, but you'll find me more on Instagram, because I
Yeah.
noticed that the majority of the minorities hang out there, and so that's why I start
Mm.
putting my contents and try to reach out to them, and that kind of helped me out when I noticed that in there is more
Mm.
effective than it is with Facebook. With Facebook, we got a lot of things going on. I do put things on there, but Instagram is pretty much where you will find me at. You can DM me. I actually will respond. I don't just
Yeah.
brush it off. I love the thought of hearing feedbacks, whether don't ever feel offended if you hear or see a message that I put out and it looks like it doesn't make sense. Tell me. I love the challenge, because I don't have a problem accepting criticism, because that's what helps me become better at what I do.
Aw. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's
that's
what they
true
can.
on your Instagram page. I follow you, and I'm always watching your live feed. I love the pictures that you post. It's very
Thanks.
just really authentic, and I
Thanks.
appreciate what you do, Jose.
Yeah, yeah. And I try to
Yeah,
keep it as real as possible, because too much
you do.
yeah, it's too much acting out there. But I definitely love the thought of
Yeah.
what I do. I love what I do. So,
Yeah.
reach out to me there. So I know who's there. So
All right. Well, we know you love the work. We're passionate about working with you, and
yeah,
having you get out there and speak to
mhm,
many audiences.
yeah.
So with that, Jose, thank you so much for being on Luminary
Thank
Leaders
you.
Live today, and thank you for just gracing us with your talk today. And
Yeah,
we will catch everyone next time.
yeah.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. All
Thank
right.
you.